Panchtantra 11 to 15 PDF. Panchtantra Tales. Adopted and modified by Kulwant Singh Sandhu. Contents: 11. The Jackal and the Drum. 12. The Dog and the Rabbit. 13. The Flies. 14. The Pig and the Sheep. 15. The Sick Stag. 11. The Jackal and the Drum. Once there lived a jackal called Coward. One day he was very hungry and was wandering about in search of food. After some time he wandered out of the jungle where he lived in and reached a deserted battlefield. In this deserted battlefield, a battle was fought recently. The fighting armies had left behind a drum which was lying near a tree. As strong winds blew, the branches of the tree got rubbed against the drum. This made a strange noise. When the jackal heard this sound, he got very frightened and thought of running away. If I cannot flee from here before I am seen by the person making all this noise, I will be in trouble. As he was about to run away, he had a second thought. It is unwise to run away from something without knowing. Instead, I must be careful in finding out the source of this noise. He took the courage to creep forward cautiously. When he saw the drum, he realized that it was only the wind that was causing all the noise. He continued his search for food, and near the drum he found sufficient food and water. Jackal ate to his heart's content and became happy. The wise indeed say, only the brave succeed in life. Or fortune favors the brave. 12. The Dog and the Rabbit. Once there lived a rabbit and his name was Bunny. There also lived a dog. The dog was very moody. One day he would be down in the mouth, sad. The other, he would be a happy bunny. Bunny was a simple animal. He ate his food and was content. Once, there was a long drought. It did not rain for many months. The rabbit had to leave his home. He moved close to the dog. They became close friends. One day, the dog suddenly caught the rabbit and bit him hard. The rabbit was bleeding badly. He was also in terrible pain. The dog, however, started licking his wound. It appeared that the dog was trying to comfort the rabbit. The rabbit was confused by the dog's behavior and he did not know what to say. The rabbit thought for a moment and then he said, "My friend dog, tell me first, are you a friend or an enemy? If you are a friend, why did you bite me? If you are an enemy, then why are you licking my wound? Either kill me or let me go, then I can know who I am with a friend or a foe." The dog replied, "My friend Bunny, it is my nature to kill a rabbit, but you are my friend." Moral: a dubious friend is worse than an enemy. 13. The Flies. Madhu was in a hurry. She was getting late for school. Accidentally, she knocked the jar of honey. It fell on floor and broke. She closed the kitchen door and went to school. The smell of honey attracted a swarm of flies. They came and licked the honey. Once they were full, they wanted to leave. But their feet were stuck in the honey. They made several attempts to fly away but failed. They realized that they were in great danger. They thought to themselves, soon, somebody will come in and mop the floor, and it will be end our lives. Just as they were dying, they exclaimed, "Oh, foolish creatures that we are, for the sake of a little pleasure, we have destroyed ourselves." Moral: consider the consequences of pleasure. 14. The Pig and the Sheep. There lived a handsome pig. He was living happily with his family when an animal disease spread out. His family died. For some reason, he survived. Then he moved to a sheep farm. One day, the farmer came to the farm. He grabbed the pig by his ear. When the farmer was taking him toward the shed, the pig cried loudly. One of the sheep said to the pig, "Why are you panicking? Be relaxed. The farmer always takes us to the shed. We don't cry like you." The pig replied, "Your situation is different from mine. The farmer takes you to the shed to take your wool off. In my case, there is no wool. He is only interested in slaughtering me and take my meat." Moral: it is easy to be brave when there is no danger. Don't compare two different situations without understanding them. 15. The Sick Stag. A male deer is called a buck or stag. A female deer is called a doe, and a young deer is called a fawn. A stag has antlers. In the deep forest, once there lived a stag with his family. One day the weather was really bad, thundery and stormy. His family was struck by lightning. His family died, but somehow he survived. Time passed. One day he got seriously ill. He could not move to get his food. He somehow dragged himself to a safe place. There was plenty of greenery. He was a popular stag. Many animals came to see him. He always welcomed them warmly. He was a kind-hearted stag. They all wished him to get well soon. But before leaving, many of them would eat the grass around him. As days passed, almost all the grass near him was eaten up. One day, the stag felt better and moved around to find grass. All the fields near him were bare. There was no grass left. He died of hunger. Moral: sometimes you can do without the so-called well-wishers. Or, evil friends are no comfort. Version 2. One day, one of the stags fell terribly sick. This stag grew weak and could hardly stand all by itself. Not knowing what to do or who to call, the stag decided to sit down and rest. He walked a little further and hoped to find a suitable place for resting. Soon he found a clearing under the shade of trees. He decided to lay there and wait until he got better. The stag quietly lied down. He was too sick to move about. He couldn't even get up to stand. So he decided to wait out the sickness. When the other stags heard that this stag was sick, they came to visit him. One by one, they asked to see the stag and ask about his health. Whenever any one of them came to see him, they grazed around the sick stag's area. They would ask how he was doing and begin eating the grass and leaves nearby. All of them did the same thing. Soon, the grass and leaves were all gone. The sick stag grew better gradually over time. But the stag was still too feeble to get up. He wasn't strong enough to get on his feet and run around looking for food. And all the food around him was gone. His companions had eaten it all. So he lay there too weak to get up. And soon passed away, not because of his weak health and sickness, but because he had no means to live. There was no food left for him.